Welcome to another episode of Dementia Diaries with Binke. I trust you're all doing great. I am so excited that we're beginning to gain some traction and the stories are beginning to resonate with people. I've had so much feedback, and that's all I want, for us to understand and begin to do better by everyone around us who may be suffering from this terrible mental condition. So I'm going to answer the question for today, which is, at what age do people begin to suffer from dementia? Well, I've only been in the industry for 3 years, and I can tell you that I've seen people in their 50s, as early as in the 50s, who have dementia. Which brings me to the topic of today, understanding the different types of dementia and how they present, because when you want to provide support, you must understand what the person is suffering from so that you can give the appropriate support they need. For today, I'm going to be focusing on two, because there are different types of dementia. Today, I'm going to be focusing on two, which are Lewy body dementia and the frontotemporal dementia. So the Lewy body dementia is when you have balloon-like chunks of proteins in the brain. So someone who is suffering from this type acts out things, they act out their dreams, they see things that are not there. And I do have a resident who does that. So she's seeing bees, she's seeing bats, she's seeing ants. Sometimes she even thinks that the ants are human beings. Actually, there are two of them. They refer to ants as human beings. They ask, do you see those children? Do you see them? Yes, they do see things that do not exist. And they have tremors and rigidity. So one of them has tremors, so she's constantly shaky, and it seems like she has anxiety. And then to the second one, which is a frontotemporal dementia. This is the degeneration of nerve cells and their connections in the frontal or temporal lobes of the brain, the areas generally associated with personality, behavior, and language. So you see that these people's thinking skills are very much reduced. The sense of judgment is almost zero. Language is gone, and movement and feelings and all of that. So that's why it's always very important never to leave people who suffer from dementia by themselves. They can light the gas cooker, for instance, and forget. They don't know the difference between night and day anymore. It makes no difference. And I'm going to share a quick story about my mom and feelings, just because we say this affects feelings. So my sister had called me up because my mom was with her, and they both were eating and having a wonderful time, when suddenly my mom said she wanted to leave and go home. So my sister, tried to, ask her to give her a little bit of time so she could finish her food. Of course, they went back and forth, and she was eventually a little bit upset. I mean, how inconsiderate can someone be? You have eating and I'm trying to eat my food. Come on. Anyway, she calls me all the way here, and I said, okay, I'm just going to try my best. She's lived with me before and I know how this thing works out. So of course I gave it a shot, and I said, are you willing to just wait for her to finish? She said she's hungry, and she said, no, I have to go back to my house and all of that. So this happens a lot with, like I said, it depends on what exactly the person is going through and what time of the day it is. So yeah, sometimes you find out that people who suffer from dementia, what they want is what they want. It doesn't really matter what you feel about it, and it doesn't matter how you perceive it. They really don't. The feeling is just not there, and it's not because they do not want to care. My mother is a naturally caring person, and she taught us to be caring and to be giving. So when those behaviors started to set in, if we knew, then we would have risen up to it and understood that yes, this is what she was going through, but we didn't have any idea. So because I now understand, I was able to let her understand, look, you've got to take her home because this is what she wants. That's what she wanted at that time, so she had to take her home. It's not because my mom doesn't love my sister anymore or anything. No, it's just that there's a degeneration there, and so she really doesn't have empathy anymore. And I remember also when we started to change house helps, because she was very impatient. She became very, very impatient, and we in a space of 2 months we must have like changed caregivers for her, and at some point, of course, we were frustrated, like, what's going on? Why is it that someone is not able to satisfy you? Another way this can also present will be, I don't know if you have ever experienced that with anyone that you go to parties, you can go to, we call it Owambe, and then you see elderly people, stuffing things into their bags. You give them food, they're stuffing, they don't want to eat, they're stuffing it into their bags. I do take my residents on outings. We do go out to eat, so I see that behavior too, where they are giving their food, and for some reason they just stuff it into their bag. I also know someone who, when you set the dining table and you set all the cutlery and everything, she's just picking everything. She's picking the cutlery and she's stuffing it in every part of her body. So yes, it causes them to do that. They're not necessarily stealing. Their intention is not to steal. Most times they believe those things belong to them, or that people are trying to steal from them. So they are like this is the way of hiding and protecting myself. So when you understand the behavior, then you know how to respond to it. So how do you respond to such behavior? So for instance, someone is singing things, you don't want to make them seem like they're going crazy. So sometimes you try and redirect, but if it doesn't work, then we let you say, oh, okay. So you see the bats. So what are the bats doing? So what are the ants doing? Or what are the birds, or whatever it is they're singing? What are they doing? And give them time to explain or tell you whatever it is that they are doing. And then for people who you think are not showing enough feelings, or they are not caring, you don't take it to heart. That's what I'm going to say. Don't take it to heart. Sometimes they can be nasty. They can say nasty things. I tell you, they can really be nasty and say nasty things, but do not take those things to heart. And for those of us who have carers for our old parents, those are things you want to tell them, because these people, they feel upset, they are really angry that people speak to them in that manner. You want to understand, as you're taking them on, you want to understand, look, this is the way my mother or my father is, but please do not take anything to heart. And if they say anything to you, do let me know about it. I'll take care of it, so that they're not rude to them, or they don't start being mean in your absence. Okay, so for those people who are into the habit of putting things here and there, hiding them, you know what I mean, you don't want to make them think that they are stealing. So you've got to find a time when they are distracted, and you want to retrieve those things. And you've got to learn how to deal with the different behaviors. So that is it for today. I'm going to ask you one more time, please do like this video, and I want you to please share with all your friends and families. Like I said, I want us to begin to learn and understand this mental disease. It's not a disease. Alzheimer's is a disease, and it leads to different types of dementia. So what I want is for us to learn. So once again, please share with other people so we can all learn together. Until next time, bye bye, and thank you.